Welcome to another episode of Eavesdrop. Todd, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Blessed.
Paul?
Can't complain. I'm here.
Great. We have a special guest, and I'm excited to introduce Mr. AquaMan.
What's up, brother?
He's a crypto enthusiast, DeFi trader, influencer, and we're gonna dive into this topic in a really good way. So a lot of people that are listening right now, you know, if you're new to this, if you're intermediate to this, if you're an expert to this is all going to be something that you're all going to want to put your head around and listen in and tune in and eavesdrop in. I got to start with the name. You know, it's interesting because when I heard AquaMan,
Yeah.
I was thinking ocean, and then we use the word diving deep dive, AquaMan, and then you know I was like, well, wait a minute, he's also in the water. So
I definitely am. Thanks to Todd. Yeah, Todd. I'll be honest with you. So like, I had a lot of knowledge about water because I've owned a retail water store since 2018, right? And you know, I was huge on alkaline water, but I was missing a piece of the equation to fully clean water back to its original state. And that's where Todd plays a major role, because you know, here I am at my water store and like having all this knowledge on water. To be honest with you, like, let's just be real. When you hear Kangen, you know, you hear kind of like maybe a bad experience that you had with a pushy salesperson that didn't know what they were talking about, right? And they were just extremely hungry, wanted to make commission, but didn't have enough knowledge to feed to close the deal, right? And that was my experience all the time with
people with commission breath.
Commission breath. That's a good way of saying it. And you know, I was coming off a tough time in my life, and I was like just getting back to work. And Todd was like, "Hey, bro, let me pull up on you. I want to show you something, and let's smoke." And I'm like, "All right." And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, "Bro, like, what is this guy gonna teach me about water? Like, you know what I mean?" I'm like, "Fuck it, I haven't seen him in so long. I want to smoke with him, though. You know what I mean? I want to chill." He pulls up with like 5 different containers of water, right? And I'm like, "What the fuck is this guy got going on?" He starts doing his presentation, and I'm realizing, I'm like, "Yo, there's something about water that like I kind of just overlooked completely," right? And in a nutshell, to wrap up a long story, I discovered that water had memory. And there's 2 ways to clean water properly. And a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of water companies are only doing it one way. And, you know, that's cleaning the water physically and then cleaning the memory of the water. So you want to fully clean out what's in the water. I mean, just here in Orange County alone, the number one thing in the water is for sure arsenic. If I came to your crib right now and I dumped arsenic in your drink and you found out and you called the cops, I'd go to jail. But these water municipals are able to get away with putting arsenic in the tap water because they're saying that we're treating the water. And it's nothing but bullshit and lies to poison the people. The reason why we have what we have as far as disease and health has a great deal to do with the water precisely. And like somebody like RFK Jr. needs to understand that, like, bro, you need to get some experts on water to come in every single state, every single county, and we need to properly clean the water. Because the Kangen machine is the cherry on top to all this. The Kangen machine is the defragger of the water. The Kangen machine is taking all the bad memory out of the water that's there and putting water back into its original state, right? And we have to clean it twice, 2 different ways, because they're not only putting arsenic, they're putting fluoride, they're putting lead, and they're putting all these fucking dinosaur names, and the potential effect on all these things are cancer. And then like, what do we know about fluoride? Well, most people think, or I'm just going to boil the tap water and that'll do it. Well, bro, like, did you know when you boil fluoride, it turns to fluorine, and fluorine is 10,000 times more toxic and deadly to the human body than fluoride itself? What?
And you know what I'm saying? And we're taught that boiling water does something to the cleaning.
Bro, all the Latin community, all the brown community, all the like black people, like we all think Oh, we just boil it. I'll get rid of it. Oh my God.
Doesn't work like that.
I'm going to just tell you right now, do not cook with your tap water. You do not want toxic poison pasta. You don't want toxic poison rice. You don't want toxic poison mbondigas and pozole and you know what I'm saying? I grew up, my wife is a Latina, so like I grew up around Latins my whole life, so I'm familiar with all the dishes, but like I'm also fully aware that like all my homies' moms and aunts and grandmothers that were cooking in the kitchen were just turning on the tap.
Straight from the tap.
Straight from the tap.
Thinking that boiling the water was cleaning it.
And thinking, exactly. Not realizing that it's making it way worse. So that's where I gave myself the nickname Aquaman, because I was like, yo, I'm the real Aquaman. I'm out here really educating folks. And I had long hair and you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, so I gave myself that nickname, bro.
I love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
And so okay, great. That explains a lot about the but I'm also sure that it has to do with the depth of the ocean, being able to dive deep into any type of topic, because it says here that you're into crypto and DeFi, and we're gonna dive into that.
Yeah.
How did you get into crypto?
Bro, I got into crypto because it's like my calling, bro. Like, and I kind of got upset with like a couple of my boys that were tapped into Bitcoin because they didn't share with me what they knew about Bitcoin. And I was like, bro, I told one of my boys, I was like, hey man, you've been owning Bitcoin for how long? And I was like, I've shared so many gems with you. I was like, how come you didn't tell me about Bitcoin, bro?
Wow.
Yeah.
But like, I don't even think he understands what I know about Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I came to it, it was just like love at first sight. Like I understood it immediately. And to be honest with you, it brought a new spark, like just into my journey and in life. I look at crypto right now and the technology right now as an opportunity of a lifetime. Like every single one of us here in this building, here in this studio right now, have an opportunity to jump in front of the wealth transfer.
Yes.
And when I say wealth transfer, it's like, and you're hearing it all over the news and like different like articles, but nobody knows what that really entails. We're hearing wealth transfer, but like what's happening in real time is that every single asset, real world asset and dollar is going to be on the blockchain. So like instead of the old fashioned way of like, buying a house, going through escrow, going through title, and going the old school route where it takes 30, 60, 90 days for it to complete, we're going to a technology where we're going to be able to buy a house same day, move in same day, because everything is on the blockchain.
Wow.
And there's smart contracts that are intertwined that you sign, boom, 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 bam, done at your fingertips.
Beautiful. Excellent.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Right on. But you're also a business owner, you mentioned.
Yeah.
What business you in?
So the water store in Azusa, California, that's my brick and mortar business. And then I have a crypto business that I started May 28th of this year, 2024, with my business partner, CypherX. His name is Cypress. And we're teaching people about DeFi, and hundreds of members since we started that are inside the club. We're almost pushing 1,000 members inside the club right now.
Right on.
And we have all walks of life, from doctors, attorneys to multimillionaire, real estate, but all walks of life. I mean, I even have a chief of police in, I believe it's in a city in Chicago. His name is Brian, and he's in the club and he's on our Discord, and he messages me maybe 2 to 3 times a week, just thanking me and just giving me updates on what's going on. And he's going to be able to retire as a police officer in like the next 2 to 3 years at the rate we're going. And that's if crypto doesn't like just explode. Like that's going to be a whole different story for him, right? But if we just continue the same rate we're going, 2 to 3 years, he'll be able to retire and not have to, go to work and be a police officer, I guess. Yeah.
Right. A different type of lifestyle versus that risky one.
100%. Yeah.
You don't mind if I can ask?
Oh yeah.
What is if this is for the novice, for the people that are out there that may be watching, but could you just define DeFi for them and what that may mean?
So DeFi is an acronym for decentralized finance. It's basically in the title, decentralized finance. And what do we hear Donald Trump saying a lot? We want an even playing field, right? decentralized finance is an even playing field. So we have the opportunity to put our dollars right next to institutional dollars, right? Trillions, billions of dollars, right? We can put our pennies right next to their dollars if you're paying attention, right? And we have an opportunity to earn yield by providing liquidity to certain liquidity pools. Before we were in this decentralized environment, liquidity pools were only private to certain institutions, private investors. It wasn't open for the average Joe, even the average Joe that was possibly a millionaire, didn't even have access to that. But because everything, again, is going on the blockchain, is decentralized, so there's nobody controlling anything, right? And we can borrow against our assets. So like right now, a lot of people probably hold like $10,000, $50,000 worth of crypto. And little did they know that they could make passive income with it. They can pull a loan against it, go buy a whip. They could go, there's so many things that you could do. And decentralized finance gives us that ability. Decentralized finance is something that I'm going to tell you right now, and the proof is in the pudding, because if you have your computer, you can open it up. I don't know if you use ChatGPT a lot, but if you ask ChatGPT right now, say, hey, ChatGPT, globally right now on the entire planet, how many people are partaking in DeFi? And what it's going to tell me, because what it just told me, I just did this like a week ago on a TikTok live, I think it was like 6 million wallets, right? But what we have to understand about crypto wallets is that you can have multiples. I got like 10 crypto wallets, right? And I got like 3 of them plugged into DeFi, and I'm only one person. So that 6 million does not count as 6 million individual people that are plugged in and tapped into this information.
Gotcha.
Drop in the bucket.
Most of these people that are tapped into DeFi are sophisticated investors, multimillionaires, because they're tapped in. But eventually, everybody is going to understand this in the future. Everybody will have a piece of the pie at you will, right? Like you'll be able to get a piece of the pie. But right now, it's like, whew, DeFi is the golden ages right now, man.
Yeah, and we got a list of questions when we dive into that DeFi topic. But before we go there, I still want to talk to you about the businesses that you still have.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
my bad.
So you had the water, then you have the crypto. Anything else?
Just those two right now. For now,
you have a long history with the cannabis industry, though.
Yeah. So I was in cannabis for 10 plus years. You know, cannabis now is so commercialized and it's washed out for me, to be honest with you. And a lot of the brands, and this is no offense, but you know, the brands that you guys know, like I'm tapped into the inner culture of cannabis still. Like I have connections all across. I got Burner's number right here, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm tapped in, but like a lot of the brands now are garbage, bro. So like, and I don't want to like, and I never got to the level of like having my own brand because I was doing other things. But like, you know, I've left cannabis since the past 6 months, and I'm going to come back to cannabis, but I'm going to come back to cannabis and, you know, have my own thing, to be honest with you, because, you know, people are getting gouged by taxes. A lot of people are getting weeded out. And I feel like in the next 5 years, it'll be a lot easier to come into cannabis, especially if you have a passion. You're not just somebody coming in like, oh, I'm trying to make a quick buck, but like you definitely smoke and you partake and you see like, damn, like put yourself in that consumer position. Like, oh, if I was in the shop, would I buy this? You know what I mean? I feel like you could create super dope brands just by like thinking on that angle of things. You know what I mean? But, you know, I love cannabis, man. Cannabis reminds me a lot of like crypto too, especially before regulations came, because that's when we made the most amount of money. You know what I mean? I had 50 pounds in my trunk on any given day.
Drop 215.
$100,000 cash in the Trader Joe bag in the back of my Tesla and shit. You know what I mean? And it was a Camry before it was my Tesla.
I remember that Camry.
And bro, like, remember that Camry? Yeah. Putting in work and, you know, made the most amount of money. And dude, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I wish I would have known about crypto during that time, bro. Oh my God, bro.
You know what's funny? Remember Potcoin?
No, what is that?
So there was a time when the beginning of crypto, there's about 4 different crypto that have to do with cannabis.
Yeah.
One of them was called Potcoin. And the idea was to try to get people to use Potcoin
Okay.
to buy in the dispensaries because remember, you had to use cash only.
Right.
There was no insurance, there was no financing, there was no credit cards. It was all just cash.
Dang.
But there was an idea that we were trying to tie with using Potcoin. And we were reaching out to the developers and so forth, but that never became of anything. But anyhow, that's another story.
Bro, you know what's so funny though too is there's a project that sits on top of the Algorand blockchain.
Oh.
It's called Gramo. But it's what you just said is what that project does, but for the cannabis industry in Europe. You got to look into it, dude. It's wild because what exactly you just said is exactly what that is, but in Europe, like to the T.
That's what I was going to lead into another question. Whereas, you know, you got the water, you got the crypto, and then you got the history in cannabis, and then you said you just never married the two.
What, crypto and cannabis?
Yeah. And how would you if you would? Would it be something similar to that Gramo?
Well, to be honest with you, I would have never created a project. I was just saying that like during that time, 2016, I think Bitcoin was like around like $500, $1,000, and Ethereum was like 75 cents.
Yeah.
Ethereum today is 4 racks, right?
Yeah.
And if I would have came to it then, I mean, I would have been putting way more money than I would have been putting in now too. You know what I mean? But I feel like I would have already like made it because I for sure would have bought some Ethereum. 75 cents.
75 cents.
75 cents,
now, bro.
And there's 4 racks now.
That's wild.
You guys got to remind me how to break down why Ethereum is 4,000 and all that. But that's decentralized finance side things. Bro. I'm telling you, I'm going to blow your guys' minds, bro. It's just, yeah.
We're going to hit you with some questions.
You're a family man.
Yes.
Tell me about your family.
So, got a wife. I got 3 boys and a daughter. And we had another daughter. We had a tragedy that happened, but we always give her a shout out when we say like how many people are in the family. So I've technically had 2 daughters. But yeah, my latest daughter, she's about to be a year come February.
Oh, you got babies.
Yeah. But my boys are all older. So my oldest is about to be 16.
Okay.
And then I got a 10 and a 12-year-old.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
16.
By the way.
Wow. Does he have attitude?
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Does he have attitude yet? 16 years old?
Yeah, I gotta check on this shit. And like he'd be like, yeah, I have to like kind of like there's been a couple times I'm like, yo, like, you know how you're a man and he does jujitsu and shit too.
Oh man.
So like I know, like, you know, when you're that age. But it's just like, I want to be like, son, I don't think you understand. I got that grown man strength. There's no way you're winning this one.
Yeah, no matter what you know.
No matter what you know, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just
Dad's
listen
strength.
to me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, my kids are good though, for the most part. Like, yeah, we ain't even really got to discipline like that anyways, to be honest with you. Like, they're really good kids. Yeah.
That's cool.
And the reason why it was important for me to draw on your family was because you're a family man, and then you're into these topics as well. You're into crypto.
Yeah.
And you got that, and you're also the business owner. And you know, you're the kid. You teaching your kids about business as well. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, I mean, you could talk to my kids right now, and they'll tell you what XRP is. I mean, not in like break it down like how I know it, but they'll be like, "Oh, XRP, that's crypto." Yeah, my daddy knows what that is, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them too that like in the future, when it's my time to go in like 100+ years from now, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my digital assets, which is my crypto, and you guys are going to make the passive income with it. And they're going to be probably worth even way more than what they're worth today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? 50 years from now, could you imagine what XRP is sitting at 50 years? What's Bitcoin going to be sitting at in 50 years from today?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, passing on that legacy is important.
And that's
It is.
perfect because that leads us right into these expertise type of conversations now.
Oh yeah, let's run it. That's my side. I love that side.
Run it.
Now, I do want to touch on some things that you talked about. We know the crypto.
Yeah.
We know the water. But you also got a passion for how much bullshit the government's about.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. That's where it all started, bro.
He got greedy right now. He said,
Yeah.
greediness right now. He's ready.
Yeah, bro. That's where it all started. I mean, for me, I understood 9/11 because I had my hands on the Loose Change DVD that was going around back in the days.
I saw that.
So the homie passed me that. After I watched that at my apartment when I had my own apartment, early 20s, I didn't even sleep. I was that scared. I was like, bro, there ain't nobody to trust.
Mm.
Nobody to trust, right? But then later on, coming back to cannabis, I was like, yo, like, because I had PTSD as a kid and I didn't want, you know, pills. And I was like, you know, I got away from alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol in 10 plus years, right?
Congrats.
But back in the days in my early 20s, I was putting them back, drinking, blacking out. And, you know, becoming a family man, you're like, yo, you can't be acting like that, especially if you're conscious of like putting on a good example for your children. So I got alcohol out completely and started educating myself on cannabis. And I was like, yo, the government's lying to us on what cannabis can really do for us. Like cannabis has helped me out in tremendous ways. Like cannabis allowed me to read a book in its entirety from front to back because I've finally, for my first time, able to focus and shit. My mind wasn't going a million places. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, and then I found other plant medicines, and I'm like, how are these Schedule 1 drugs, bro? Like mushrooms, ayahuasca. We can't have ayahuasca over here. We gotta go. I flew to Costa Rica to drink ayahuasca in 2019.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like I was serious about this life, bro. Like I'm like, bro, like I want growth and like, you know what I mean? And plant medicine, bro, is God's gift to mankind. Like what's wrong with mankind right now can be solved with plant medicine, like straight up.
Wow.
Like they should incorporate ayahuasca into every prison, straight up.
Yeah, you know, just to touch on that, and I didn't want to cut you off, but
Yeah.
the NFL has they just this past Sunday they showed Aaron Rodgers and someone from the Bears going through an ayahuasca trip where they paid for it and they were going through an ayahuasca trip. So if you think that, you know, think about that, the changes that are being made right now to incorporate that.
Dang, that's actually pretty cool. That's gonna motivate a lot of the masses to at least look into ayahuasca.
Do you feel that like if you really meditate and study on the ayahuasca experience that you had, that you still could have arrived to what any kind of learning you had with the ayahuasca, you could have still arrived to without it?
You know, ayahuasca is like, it's not like smoking weed, bro. It's not even like having a bad experience with a super potent edible. I feel like ayahuasca and where I went and like afterwards, my life is like a butterfly effect. And like I feel like I paid some karmic debt doing that work.
Mm.
And if I didn't do that work, then it would have came out in a different way in my life and maybe even more tough. And yeah, man, I mean, like ayahuasca is not for the faint of heart, bro. Like I'm gonna tell you, like it was a frightening situation, like every night for me. When at least there were parts of it that were beautiful, but like, I mean, yeah, man, it reminds you, man, like how precious life really is. You know what I mean? Life is extremely precious. You know what I mean? So like, yeah.
Quick question. So would you say ayahuasca is like a defragmentation of your ego? Like your
Hell yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And yeah, 100%. You nailed it right on the money. It takes a layer away. Or at least it makes it even more manageable. You know how some people's egos like controls them?
Mm-hmm.
You can manage it
Okay.
even better. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's powerful stuff. I mean, dude, like in some cases, I think even you can kind of see glimpses of your future. It's almost like time traveling in a way too. But like, it's man, it's such a sophisticated, ancient feeling when you're there too. That like, and it's a familiar feeling too. It's kind of a trip, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
You tried it?
No. But when you hear rappers say you need to get ayahuasca, you need to, you know, the recent songs we've been hearing on the radio and so forth, like that's a real thing. It has to be a real thing if someone's affirming that to someone else, like, yo, you need to go get that ayahuasca treatment.
Is that considered plant-based?
Yeah, that's a plan.
It's so ayahuasca is two different species of plants. One is the cappy leaf, and then the other one is the something vine. I don't know. I don't want to say it right now because I don't know off the top of my mind right now. But it's two different plants in the Amazon jungle that a shaman one evening had a dream. God or the universe said, hey, you want to take this plant and this plant, mix them together, and you got ayahuasca.
Wow.
The amount of plant species that live in the Amazon is like kind of virtually like impossible for someone to go in there and guess. So like, I believe that person's dream, and I believe that 100% wholeheartedly. You know?
All right.
Yeah, a lot of good things come from.
Interesting. All right. Oh, man, we went from that government right into ayahuasca. But no, let's swing this back around to the topic, where we're going to go into crypto and DeFi.
Yeah.
Now you had made an interesting point when I said to myself, I'm not sure whether to ask about this first or ask about ask the questions that will kind of lead up to it. But you tell me. You tell me if we should pause and then swing back around to the things that will lead up to it, or you want to hit this now.
Okay.
You said use crypto to hedge against AI.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that getting ahead of yourselves? Should we go through some leading up to it, or you think you want to hit that one right now?
We could talk about that one right now because
That's pretty deep.
Yes.
It is deep.
How do you hedge?
I love to hear that. Using crypto to hedge against AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, all right, I'm not going to turn this around and ask you questions. I just want to get a gauge on like where you guys are at when it comes to artificial intelligence and robots. Like where do you think that's going? Like, what do you guys like know?
Job replacements.
Yep.
Bro, we're probably gonna have robots in our house doing
Chores.
dishes and
It's making us too much dependent on that technology. I think humans are becoming more dependent upon that technology more than anything else right now.
Yeah.
I think the artificial learning is going to be dangerous.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it to you like this, all right? So like all of us here understand business. And like for example, my water store, my biggest expense is payroll. It's my biggest expense, right? That's more than likely Amazon's biggest expense because what comes with payroll is also workman's comp and energy too, right?
Mhm.
If you're having to hire, fire, find these people. So that comes with a slew of things. Now, if I could cut all that out by buying this Tesla robot from Elon Musk for $40,000 and it can do everything that my employee does for me, and I'm cutting out all those costs, why would I not put that robot to work? And now some people might say, hey, well, that's not very human-like, and I'm not going to support those businesses. And yeah, you might feel like that in the initial beginning, but the moment Amazon's doing it and everyone's doing it, and I said 2 years ago, the moment we see the Kardashians with a robot is when we're all cooked. And that's what we seen this year was Kim Kardashian making a love hand, showing the intelligence behind that robot. So, and they've also proven, and it's not just low-hanging, low-level, careers. It's like 95% of the workforce, because attorneys only go to work because of what they memorized in all the books. Well, if I have ChatGPT that can get to all that information without your emotions tied up into it, I don't need to go to you for a consultation. If this robot is even more efficient than this surgeon when it comes to brain surgery, and the likelihood of something happening to you and not making it is actually even less of a chance if we let the robot operate on you than the human, where are you going to sign the dotted line? I know where I would sign, right? So it's just like, we have to understand, we have to be mature about what's coming. And I say mature because it's like, we gotta hedge against and not battle what's coming, but like, how do we get in flow with what's coming? And that's why I said crypto helps mitigate against AI, because crypto is still in its infancy right now. There's still manageable, like people can afford these assets still. XRP is like $2.50. Had you bought it this summer, it would have been 50 cents. Had you bought it last year, it would have been 30 cents, right? Bitcoin, a lot of people are priced out. They can't buy it. They're going to buy a little small sliver. And most people don't even understand that they can get a sliver. right?
Mhm.
So they're like, I'm not going to buy that because I can't afford $100,000. I can't afford Ethereum at $4,000, right? But where this technology is going has everything to do with, and is 100% aligned with where the future is at as far as technology goes. And we have to be mature and put in the elbow grease and understand this shit and understand that nobody's safe. Because if I just told you that attorneys and doctors ain't safe, then like
Right.
nobody ain't safe.
Right. Hollywood ain't safe with these screenwriters now.
Hollywood ain't even safe with screenwriters. Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of these rappers were tapped into artificial intelligence writing their lyrics for the longest time now.
And we just catching on.
just
to
never
it.
knew.
Wow.
Because the music world is an ugly, stealing, fucking vulture world.
Yeah.
You always
Vulture
hear about
culture.
the inner stealings of stuff, and like, yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like these huge music studios that sign these guys and everything, that's basically you're gonna listen to us and what we write, had their hands on some fancy artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? Before ChatGPT got huge, and they've been tapped into this stuff, man.
So they're gonna have the AI awards for music. That's the best artist for the new AI single.
Hey,
Diddy did it right.
So would you say that when you say crypto to hedge against AI, in other words, it's if AI is going to squeeze you out of some money making, some opportunities, it's now time to get in some crypto so you don't get edged out before AI edges you out.
well, yeah, it's time to get involved in crypto and start learning that stuff now, and understanding it's not for play. It's not play money. It's not crypto monopoly money. This shit is real.
Yeah.
And still do your Postmates job, but understand that your Postmates job is for sure getting replaced by a drone and a robot.
Got it. And so then that's the hedging against it. You're almost
Yeah.
hedging against your career.
Yeah, like these people that are at Amazon right now, I know you guys see it. Everyone that's on strike at Amazon, they're better off at home studying crypto right now than standing out there and picketing
You're
against this
exactly right.
bullshit strike. Because Jeff Bezos is like on the phone with Elon, like, hey, bro, so like, when are these robots going to be done? You see how these
Yeah.
people are acting.
Right.
We need to get rid of them ASAP.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know what I mean? That's happening.
Yeah.
And they're
Those-
washing the mind with having bots at Kai Cenat's 24-hour live, bro.
My son showed me, my son was like, Dad, I hear you keep on talking about robots. Look at Kai Cenat. And I was like, what? And then that robot had the XRP logo on it too. Did you catch that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, bro. It's wild.
It's wild.
I mean, let me touch on this. You got, like you said, AI and bots are on all levels. So you got self-automated bot McDonald's to bots doing surgeries on your brain. So
100%. It's everybody that's getting replaced. Like,
People can jump on crypto to save their asses when their jobs go. Because that's what I got out of that. That's very strong. You're exactly right.
yeah.
You're right.
Like, I'm foreseeing the future and what's coming, where we're at now, how things evolved as a kid, like just seeing things change. I mean, like, even like, bro, you guys mark my words that in the future, holistic hospitals will be the ones that actually have humans in it. But most hospitals will be like 99.9% AI
I
operating.
believe that.
I believe that.
I believe that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that.
All right, we're gonna fire off some questions to you, my friend.
Yeah, let's run it.
And then I think Todd already touched on it, and it was what is DeFi? But let's add a little bit to it. What's DeFi and how is it different from traditional financing?
So traditional financing, there's a lot of roadblocks, and we don't have access to a lot of it at all. And it favors the institutions and the banks.
It does.
It doesn't
You're
favor
exactly
us as the people.
You're right.
Because right now, Bank of America is maybe giving you a sliver of a percent in yield for a CD, for example, right? 0.001 for the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you decide in 6 months you want it out, we're going to penalize you on that too, right?
That's right.
So I'm not making anything. I'm making like $1 where you have an opportunity to double dip and earn yield twice on your asset, right? It's wild. And it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm pretty sure you guys kind of understand staking right now, slightly, but like staking, you lock up your asset, right? And you get paid yield. You can get it out, whatever the terms you agreed on, that's what the terms are.
Mm-hmm.
Liquid staking is whatever the terms you agree on, but We're going to give you a yield, but we're also going to give you the wrapped version of this asset, keep you liquid, and you can take that asset and do as you please with it. But to get what you put in staking back, you got to bring back this exactly. But if you know how to take that exactly, go and earn with that, bring it back, give back, the cut to give back your assets plus the yield you earned on that side, you're making yield 3 different ways.
You're winning.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Huge.
It's super huge. And that's what's going on right now in the traditional finance. But in traditional finance, like Rockefellers, they found the loophole through like life insurance. And when you get involved in universal life insurance, you could borrow against your money tax-free, right? Now, regulations are not here yet in crypto, but rumor has it, and especially, Donald Trump keeps on talking about it, but like they're talking about having zero tax on American cryptos, and XRP is an American crypto.
Nice.
That's crazy.
So having that asset, you're not going to get taxed on it potentially. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully that's what, the future holds. But like, that's where I see decentralized finance compared exactly to traditional finance and the loophole on how to get away with paying Uncle Sam. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump don't pay anything to Uncle Sam. Let's get real. Like, these people have sophisticated CPAs and know exactly what they're doing. But we have access to that too. You know what I mean?
So when we talk traditional finance and we want to borrow against something, it's because somebody's bringing an asset to the table, some kind of maybe a property, and then they're able to put that up as collateral. And the decentralized financing is an ability that when things get regulated to a certain extent, bringing an asset like your Bitcoin could be the collateral.
100.
Being able to get stuff. That's what we're talking about here.
100%.
Okay.
100%. And that's what the banks are waiting for. They're waiting for regulations because they want, it's proof, like they've said it in so many documents, BIS documents, World Economic Forum documents that I've read. These guys are coming to crypto. They want to come in DeFi. They're waiting for regulations. And they need regulations in order to use Bitcoin as collateral, use these digital assets as collateral. If there's no, like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys operate in billions and trillions of dollars, and they don't like to lose even $1 million.
Agreed.
So, we're waiting for regulations. Once that comes in, I mean, the technology is on a whole nother level. And yeah, man, it's
so what we're talking here is we're talking that crypto is the next frontier.
Yeah.
And being the next frontier, all the what's that word? The tycoons that have all of their billions and trillions right now, they know that the next frontier is coming.
100.
And as they go to move from their old ways of the old system and they go into the new system, that's our opportunity to get involved so we can get part of that wealth transfer.
100%.
That's exactly what that is.
And put our pennies next to their billions and trillions.
And then yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Do you think that it's becoming popular? And if it is, why do you think it's becoming popular?
What's coming?
The DeFi, the interest in DeFi.
It's not becoming popular just yet. I mean, it sort of is, but it's not being understood at all. Like, a lot of the Bitcoin, a lot of just crypto people in general treat their crypto like stocks. And they think that they're treating it like I'm my own bank because they bought this crypto wallet. They took the crypto off the exchange at least and put it on their crypto wallet. And they're like, I'm my own bank. Not even understanding that, like, well, do you understand that being your own bank means being able to borrow against your digital asset and get your digital asset working for you as well, right? And people, it's PSYOP time. You know what I mean? It's PSYOP time right now. They don't want a lot of people understanding this information until after the fact, until after regulations are here and they're in position.
That's right. That's exactly right.
100%. They throw monkey wrenches into Bitcoin all the time, and they bring this native mindset to, put XRP community against the Bitcoin community and, Bitcoin community against the Ethereum community. And like,
one.
Yeah, it's all
and
one.
And it's,
It all shadows Bitcoin.
And it all has its own role. Like Bitcoin, bro. Yeah. Wait till we get to Bitcoin. I'm gonna blow your minds with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, oh my God, dude. Jesus.
Give an example of how somebody who has no no knowledge of this, how would they be using it on a daily? How can they get into crypto, DeFi, get into the idea, get into the knowledge on just a daily? How?
You know, it's not something that you're going to learn overnight. It's something that you got to come in and just apply yourself every single day, whatever free time you have. A lot of the action, as far as like being in touch with like the day-to-day news of where crypto is at, is on X, Twitter. That's just where it's at. And if you follow the right people, you're gonna be tapped in. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So if somebody was going into higher learning, going into college, and they're learning about economics,
Okay.
and learning about financing, and that's traditional, and people can get into that, right? And they can learn the economy, they can learn about economics, they can learn about financing, they can learn about different assets and so forth. What's this new frontier going to look like? Is it picking up a book and learning about crypto? Is it picking up a book and
I'm gonna tell you something right now, bro. There's no like, road and proper way to get there right now. There's no universities teaching any of this information. Maybe they're talking about the new tech. I think I've heard like Harvard mentioned Ripple and stellar lumens in like one of their lectures or whatever, but nobody's teaching this unless you're tapped in with somebody who is doing it successfully, put in the elbow grease as far as like putting all the pieces together and connecting the dots. When you come into crypto, bro, like you come in and there's a bunch of these crypto influencers that are just, what our community likes to call them is they're like moon boys. And we call them moon boys because like all they're talking about is like, oh, XRP is going to be $1,000, on Tuesday. You know what I mean? And XRP is going to be this, and Bitcoin, like we don't care. Like we care about the price of the asset, but like if these people only knew that like we have DeFi at our fingertips right now where we can earn passive income with these crypto digital assets, the price point no longer matters. And now you're not, getting impatient. You know how many people have been holding XRP? And I've been holding XRP since 2017, man. This thing don't move and da-da-da-da-da. Well, bro, it's not going to move because your feelings are hurt right now, man. You know what I mean? Like what you should do is apply yourself, figure out what this XRP is really meant to do. And then you'll have a whole nother aha moment. You know what I mean? As far as like, oh, snap, this is the opportunity we have. And you can build out your bags even more. You don't even have to use your business income or your however you make your incomes to continue the dollar cost average into XRP. You can get the XRP working for you to buy more. You know what I mean?
So we got listeners, right? We got people that are going to be tuning in. Where would you say is a good place to start learning or experimenting that's safe?
I mean, learning, I wrote an ebook. I would say tap into my ebook, tap in what we got at the Wealth 28 Club if you really want to understand DeFi. Tap into my ebook if you want to understand crypto and like just kind of have like not kind of, but just really understand what everything is and just put the pieces together very easily. I mean, there's other people that have put ebooks together as well, that are very successful in the space. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I just, what I put together, I feel like there's so many gems in that ebook, and like it's really like I wish the way I wrote that ebook was like the way I would have liked to been taught when I came in. You know what I mean? And there's so many distractions because like there's so many of these influencers that are likable people too. So like you like these guys, you subscribe to them, and you're always watching all their videos, but like every fucking video is just like their opinion, and we're not learning anything out of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like that can only go so far for so long. And that's a majority of crypto right now when you tap into people's YouTube pages. It's just people's opinion. They're hip, hip, hooray, for this digital asset. And that's fine and everything, but like they're missing so much. And that's why it's going to take a while for DeFi to really spread like wildfire. It's going to take more people to tap in and then have success and then tell their friends and family, like, nah, that shit is real. This is, look at me, look at what I did. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people just think DeFi is like a certain sector of crypto and is going away too. And I'm like, bro, like DeFi is the heartbeat of crypto.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Let's talk about the language. So, would DeFi be equivalent to the economy, and crypto is equivalent to the currency, or help us distinguish those two words, DeFi and crypto? Because they're not the same, right?
Well,
or are they?
Yeah, crypto is like that name. I like to use the name digital asset. I use the word crypto because I know that's that, you know, you say that, that's what gets the ears. Yeah, and that's what gets the ears ringing, and it's, you know, exactly what you're saying. So it brings that common ground, right? But like crypto, in my opinion, is like another psyop name to keep people boxed out from this information. The moment you call it a digital asset, you're like, wait a second, digital asset? The hell you mean? But it's like, yeah, like digital asset. Like you could provide liquidity with this digital asset and earn yield. And, you know, that's the thing. Like the entire economy is going to be in crypto and will be in decentralized finance eventually. And it'll be, and that's just like, there's going to be liquidity. Like right now, liquidity is unseen. It's at certain institutions, you know, on the computer. Like we don't see it. On the blockchain, I'm going to tell you this. With blockchain coming, you know how, because we're all from the culture. We're from LA. We get it. When the All-Star game happens over here in LA, we see everybody fly in, go rent the cars, and pretend like they're rich. What I'm trying to say is that blockchain, you're not going to be able to pretend like you're rich in the future. You're either going to be rich and everyone will know, or you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my question for you is on this topic. Explain yield for those people that don't understand or know what yield means when
and that's a good point. So yield is passive income, earning a percentage, an APY or an APR on your digital asset. And like how it works is like this. So like this is one of many ways it works. But like when you make a swap between two different digital assets, between XRP and Stellar Lumens, or if you make a swap between XRP and the real USD stablecoin that's coming out from the Ripple company that's part of XRP's ecosystem, right? There's some small fees that are involved in that transaction. When I first came into crypto, to be honest with you, I thought that those transaction fees went to the crypto company.
That's what I thought.
Like it's not going to Coinbase?
When you make an exchange on Coinbase, yes, because you're on that exchange.
Okay.
When you're off of exchange and you're making this swap on a DEX, or you're doing it within your wallet, those fees are going to the liquidity providers. Liquidity providers are needed to even make that transaction go down smoothly and efficiently too. So people providing liquidity into these liquidity pools on chain and people providing liquidity to staking is strengthening that particular blockchain and enabling it to run smoother and make it less accessible for a potential hacker. So the more people on chain, the more that hacker has to go through every single person that's on chain. So it's just like putting more steps, and it's making it less likely for a hacker to come in and exploit as well. Because that's still happening on a small level. Well, not like on a small level. I'd say like some of these exploit hits are pretty massive. Like the one that I just did a video on for the Wealth 28 Club, because what we do inside the 28 Club is we give you all the breakdown of like, you know, what DeFi is. We teach you what wallets to connect, what platforms we're using. But, you know, later on, like down towards the end, we have Zoom calls that we run every week. And then we also put in, you know, videos of due diligence that we do on certain chains. And part of my due diligence this week was on the Algorand chain, and it was a project called Tiny Man, which I think I have like $500 on it that I'm testing out right now, and I'm earning yield. But back in 2022, it had a $3 million exploit that happened, so it got hacked, right?
Wow.
So it's like you have to be cognizant of like that when you're coming into DeFi, because again, there's no regulations, there's no FDIC insurance to protect. If you take a L, you're gonna take a L. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we teach all that though too in Southwell 28 Club, and you know, again, like this type of navigation is needed because you know someone who has like a go-getter mentality, they might hear me and they might go like, oh, let me go take this digital asset like this guy Aquaman was saying and go earn some yield on this. Yeah, you want to learn, but on the flip side of that though too, this shit is not like, it's not as hard as even pre-algebra in high school, bro. Like I remember a lot of my peers had a tough time with pre-algebra.
Yeah.
Like understanding this information and applying yourself is not hard like algebra, bro. So like the average Joe can apply themselves and learn this stuff, you know?
Gotcha.
And so those that are not doing it right now, they're not involved in it right now. What would you say, like in a one-liner or something like that? That what would be the benefit of them getting involved?
Well, you want to earn passive income. Like what are we all why do we all wake up in the morning and go do what we got to do because we got to pay the phone bill, we got to pay the rent, right? So understanding that you have remember when drop shipping, I don't know anything about drop shipping, but I remember when there was no talks of drop shipping. And then out of nowhere, there's all these people making thousands of dollars drop shipping, copy my business model, right? That's the opportunity you have right now in decentralized finance with your crypto assets. You can have passive income coming in with like no overhead though, right? You ain't got to pay employees. You ain't got to pay the rent. This is all right. I'm going to get, and the APYs are wild. I mean, my biggest APY that I'm earning right now is probably like 80% on my money. But there's sophisticated investors that have $25 million earning 80%. Right? And I ask myself, well, who is that person? Because I can see their wallet. Who is that person? And I'm going to tell you right now, that person, in my strong opinion, is a person that's behind managing institutional money. Because I know for a fact institutions are coming. Institutions want to get involved in crypto, not to put their crypto on a crypto wallet and put it in the fucking bank vault. They want to get their crypto assets earning yield. Think about it too. And if they keep cutting rates on the economy, where are these banks and institutions going to go to earn
They have
yield?
to make it up somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're going to come to crypto, baby. And crypto is like a $3 trillion, it's peanuts.
They want all the yield.
And they're talking about by 2026, crypto's going to be like $15-16 trillion.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, talk about wealth transfer, talk about opportunity. But if you get sucked into the world of meme tokens and scams and send your crypto here and it's going to send you X amount back and like you won't make it. And that's, man, I'm telling you, there's so many psyops in the space. I feel like purposely,
What would you say to somebody who's they're sitting on crypto that they got maybe a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Have it inside maybe Coinbase and it's just sitting there. Is that fine? Or is that,
I'm going to tell you right now, do not have your digital assets on any exchange. You need to get a crypto wallet ASAP. I would recommend a Tangem wallet or a decent wallet. Tangem it's amazing technology. It's based out of Europe. Super dope Swiss made cards. Decent, needs your fingerprint. That type of technology to protect your assets is what you want to do, because like maybe you have, the average person has like $500-600 on Coinbase. I'm going to tell you right now, that $500-600 has a potential opportunity to turn into $500,000. And that exchange is not out for your best interest. That exchange is really no different than the bank. And that exchange, remember what they did, Robinhood? Remember what they did to the GameStop people? We've all seen the movie too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they were locked out of their money.
Yep.
They couldn't touch it. Some of them could have been taking profits, but the exchange said nope. You know how many times Coinbase has done that? You know how many times Uphold has done shit like that? But people have to understand that like you could take profits right from within your cold storage crypto wallet. So you don't even have to send it to the exchange to take profits. You could take profits right from your wallet legitimately.
Wow.
Right? Turn it right into a stable coin. And a stable coin is a digital dollar. Right? So like crypto is in cycles too. So the, you know, right now we're more than likely going into the end phase of a bull run. 2025 is going to be fireworks, right? People are going to be like, crypto's back. Yo, I mean, if they're not saying it already, because Bitcoin already hit 100,000 plus, but they're saying it's going to go to $150, 200. But it's going to come down a lot. And you know how many people became Doge millionaires, watched their portfolio go all the way up and never took profits and watched it come all the way back down? So like, this is why you have to have a game plan and a strategy. This is stuff that I teach in my ebook, and I teach where the market is at, and I teach what cycle that we're in and all that. And then being tapped into the Wealth 28 Club, bro, like I'm telling you, man, we have access to some sophisticated stuff like delta zones and where liquidity lies with institutions. I mean, when you get involved in this big boy stuff, you know what I mean? This is not for play, but you know, we all can do it. That's what I'm trying to say though too, you know?
I have a question. This is a personal question. Let's talk about the Doge.
Yeah.
And so somebody gets their hands on, we'll say 10,000 Doge coins. You can get the profit, but still have 10,000 coins? Or does it mean getting some of the profits means parting ways with some of those coins?
Yeah. So, okay. So yes. So let me break it down. That person has Doge. You have 10,000. It goes to $1.5 million.
Okay.
Right? I want to secure some profits for sure, without a doubt, into a stable coin, USDC, or the real USD stable coin. Some people out there will use Tether as well, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of different stable coins. You can turn that into a stable coin. Now, what most people are going to do though, is they're going to take those profits, turn it into fiat, and then go buy the Lamborghini, go buy the house, and then be back at square one and broke. Mm. Or you can understand DeFi, understand that, oh snap, I can get this $1 million working for me, and now I'm making passive income every year. So now the following year, Dogecoin now drops. I still love Dogecoin. I still want to partake. And as a matter of fact, there's a platform called Flare Network that is enabling you to wrap your Bitcoin, put it on the Flare Network, and earn passive income and yield. So that's the play, right? There's a lot of, there's patience involved. There's maturity involved, because for the first time now you got $1 million at your fingertips and you're like, damn. And yeah, I would say maybe take 10 racks, go have fun with it. But if that $1 million can now make you, I don't know, because you can earn, let's just say on the low end, on a stable coin pool, 25, 30%. Now you're making 250, 300K every single year guaranteed. And then, you know, all right, when we'll come the bear market again, I'm going to take my stables that I just made millions of dollars, put that back into Doge, and then earn passive income in this bear market, and then slowly, patiently wait for the next bull run to come, and Doge is going to make another leg up and have another new all-time high. Because Doge is a fork of Bitcoin too. You can mine Doge, by the way. Doge has mad utility.
I didn't know you can.
Is that why Elon got behind it? Because a lot of people wondered about it because it's been around for a while, but it was always looked at as like not even an important coin, like just like
it's definitely important and it has utility and you can mine it. So like, we should talk about Bitcoin right now. I think this is the perfect time, because most people think that Bitcoin is just a store of value. It's a digital gold, right? Bitcoin has a mad purpose, and people who say a lot of the misconception too, when you get involved in like ISO tokens like XRP, XLM, Stronghold, and all these amazing techs, you're like, oh, this shit shits on Bitcoin. Bitcoin costs a ton of money to move it. It doesn't move as fast as XRP, right? Why would we use Bitcoin? But it's just like, man, they don't want you to know this. So let me break it down. So Okay, so like right now, I'm gonna go this route and I'll bring it all home. So like right now, the way we power this entire building is through the grid, right? We power through the grid, but the grid is not. It doesn't have enough energy to produce for what's coming in the future, especially with like everybody being in the metaverse eventually, everybody always being on screens, everything is going to be on the internet, right? Our bandwidth to keep up with what we got going on, it's like barely keeping up. And that's why we see during the summertime when everyone's running the AC, power outages and all that shit, right? Because the grid is old tech, right? And it's burning coal. It's not good for the environment either, right? And with carbon credits coming in the future, Edison, these guys are all gonna have to find a new way. And their new way is going to be, and may not be them, it's just whoever controls this in the future, right? It's going to be tapping into natural resources, which the grid has a tough time getting money raised to build infrastructure, to build, from, in the middle of nowhere, like when you're driving to Palm Springs, there's those big, huge wind turbines, right? That produce energy. Well, a lot of those kilowatts go wasted because there's no way of getting that back to the grid to feed it back. Now, the P and the pod to all this, the perfect thing to solve all this is Bitcoin mining. And why? Is because Bitcoin mining can tap into those natural resources, use those natural resources as energy to mine Bitcoin, and feed that energy back to the grid. And a Bitcoin mining facility doesn't cost thousands of dollars to set up. Matter of fact, you can helicopter some crates, drop them into the middle of nowhere, wherever this big, huge solar panel farm is, or wherever this big, huge wind farm is. And they're even going to tap into hydro energy as well, right? Well, the only way to do that is Bitcoin mining. And then what happens when we're done mining Bitcoin? Because there's only 24 million of those bad boys. Well, Ethereum or Doge is a fork of Bitcoin. You could mine Doge. You can mine Ethereum Classic. You can mine Litecoin. Litecoin is another sleeper. People think it's a shit coin. Nah, man, that's going to definitely help power the world in the future. Yeah. And it's going to be the utility I keep looking at it because that's the B right there. I think there was an episode too on The Simpsons that showed on the news that Bitcoin was an infinite price. And I could see, because let me blow your guys' minds. Right now in El Salvador, I did a YouTube video on it. They are mining Bitcoin with emissions from a volcano. And they've made millions of dollars. Nebraska, they're powering the entire state of Nebraska. I forget what they call it when it's when there's no centralized power company, but in Nebraska, that's what they're doing too right now.
That's crazy. Let's talk a little bit about what it was maybe 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, people would get what they call a mining rig, which would just basically be a computer with a chip in it, and it was supposedly running up your electricity bill. And then you had to get fanned. If you had about 3 or 4 of those rigs inside of a room, you needed an air conditioner in there because it was getting hot in there because of all the energy. So help me understand, or help all the viewers understand as well. If these machines are mining, they're mining Bitcoin, and they're pulling energy, and they're burning up electricity bills spiking. How does that translate?
So yeah, that's the thing. Well, it's a huge misconception, especially in the debate world between Bitcoin and XRP. They're like, well, it costs a bunch of money to plug it into the grid. It's going to steal a bunch of energy.
Right.
But we're not setting up these Bitcoin mining facilities to be plugged into the grid. We're plugging it in and tapping into all those kilowatts that are getting wasted that the grid has a tough time capturing. So Bitcoin mining is going to capture it, mine Bitcoin, and then feed back the rest of it to the grid. So Bitcoin mining is ahead of its time. Bitcoin technology is a super intricate, fancy, sexy, beautiful technology, bro. It really is. It has because think about it. It has store of value, right? and it has utility. It's actually working, right? Same thing with like silver and precious metals. Gold has a store of value, silver has a store of value. And then look how much gold gets put into computers and look how much silver gets put into solar panels. And it's a precious metal, industrial metal, if you will, right? So like Bitcoin is going to save us from the grid. It's going to get us away from the grid. The grid, it's not going to be here in the future. Or if it is, it's going to be different, feeding us energy in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And I feel like this too, bro. Like in the future, like a hustle will be like just turning your whole property into like solar panels and then selling that energy realistically. Like right now, in my opinion, all these solar companies are scams, bro. Like straight scams, in my opinion, because all they're doing is just getting you hooked back up to the grid.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't want to be on the grid, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so what do you mean I got solar panels and if the power, we still can have a power outage? That don't make no sense.
Zero.
Right.
That's why I call it a scam. Maybe not a scam like how they're charging, but just the way they're setting it up. I don't agree with it, you know?
Well, I have solar panels. I'm muted. I'm locked in at a certain percentage, so I'm not paying as much as my next door neighbor, so to speak.
But your electricity, you should never ever suffer. Like if the grid went out and there was a power outage, you shouldn't suffer.
No,
They just don't make that technology available to the average Joe and the Joe public because they still want it to be plugged into the grid.
Yeah.
But those people that are like in mid America and they have the money and the brains to ask the right questions, they can get a solar company to come out and lay out what they would call get it off the roofs, like a farm type of situation
Facts.
going.
the solar.
And then they get the other components going. And then all that stuff is being produced. And then what are you doing with it? You can't sell it off to other people. So yes, the answer to that is yes. I was just curious about my brain in trying to understand the Bitcoin and the rigs and then it running up an electricity bill, you know, and then even people that, you know, the same way that even when people that have grows, right? People that would use all these lights and they're connecting all these lights, they would steal other people's electricity because it was driving up the electricity. And that's what you can almost have that same concept with rigs. And so I was very curious as, you know, when you were saying that, you know, that could actually substitute. Is it substituting or is that a good way to say that?
Yeah, because it's gonna take. All right, so look, carbon credits are coming. They're coming, and what, like in a nutshell, what carbon credit is like how you're polluting based on what you're buying and X, Y, and Z, right? Like, what are you doing to help the planet be more green? And, you know, that whole narrative, right? And we're going to get taxed on it in the future based on how well we do that, right? But not only are we going to get taxed, but these companies and institutions are going to get taxed based on how they're running business as well. So there's pros to it because we're going to clean up the environment, right? And, you know, they're going to tap into all the natural resources instead of getting energy through the grid, which is burning coal. They're going to take the energy being produced from the solar panels, mine Bitcoin, and and put that energy back into the grid. And that's where we're going to, so like, that's the misconception. People think that these mining facilities, only because we were able to have Bitcoin mining out of our crib and that was plugged into the grid.
Right.
But these mining facilities, like there's two different companies you guys can look up. Then they're public companies, Marathon and Riot. Publicly traded companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Morgan, all publicly are investors, right? You can go look it on Yahoo Finance.
That's right.
Those facilities are here in United States. And we're not even the biggest ones here. I mean, Japan is already doing it too. Japan is literally setting up Bitcoin mining facilities and I forget the name of their power company. You guys got to tap into my YouTube video. I did a 2-segment video on like what Bitcoin is really going to be utilized for. Like, and this is what it is.
What's the name of your YouTube so the viewers know?
MrAquaman33. Yeah.
Well, you made a great point when you brought up El Salvador and you said they were tapping into the volcano emissions.
The volcano emissions or like I call them emissions. I think there's another word for it, but like there's something that's emitting from the volcanoes.
And they're capturing that.
And they're capturing that gas, and that gas is utilized as energy, and they've mined millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin.
So what they did is they also, okay, is it safe to say that they also concluded like, well, if we plug it into the grid, is it going to be expensive? Let's figure out another way.
100%.
That's exactly what happened.
So once these sophisticated, just people that understood this tech, that's when this whole thing jumped off. Because before it was just like the average Joe can mine Bitcoin.
Right.
Before Marathon and Riot were a company, they're not public company for no reason. They see where this is headed. You know what I mean? But like, I'm going to tell you right now, when you come into crypto, and especially if you're like an XRP head and like, following ISO tokens, the narrative that most adopt is that Bitcoin is going away. Bitcoin is like MapQuest of technology, Napster of technology, and it's going away. And it is not going anywhere.
Far from it.
Far from it. Yeah.
Let me touch. So let's just say I'm a stock guy. I'm into ETFs. I work for one of the top, like let's say Berkshire Hathaway, or because I feel like the stock guys don't believe in Bitcoin. How do you get them to transition to open their mind to say Bitcoin's it's a tangible business? There's
Bitcoin ETFs.
Mm-hmm.
So you say ETFs, there's Bitcoin ETFs right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways you can earn passive income with Bitcoin through your Fidelity and E-Trade account right now.
Oh. Okay.
Yield
That would
Max.
be like Riot.
Have you heard of Yield Max ETFs?
I haven't.
So Yield Max ETFs, this is not financial advice too. You know what I mean? Because like you have to understand what you're doing before you get involved with this stuff. You could really lose. But Yield Max ETFs it's by BlackRock runs those ETFs, and they have derivatives of like Tesla. There's the Tesla ETF, which right now I believe is paying like 100% right now APY, and that gets dropped into your Fidelity account, E-Trade account. They got YBit, which is a piece of Bitcoin. I believe it's like $13 right now.
YBit
to own a piece of that, but then you're gonna get paid like 80%, 90%. It fluctuates, but look, these are the ETFs right here. YBit, Coney. Coney is a derivative of ETF of Coinbase. Wow. Nvidia. Yeah, I know about Nvidia. AMDY, AI. But these all have opportunities to earn passive income, though. This is what it's all about. This is not like, think about it, bro. Like we all of us wake up here hungry as shit. We want more streams of income coming in to keep up with the lifestyle that we want to live and lead and stuff, right? And that's why I'm trying to say that like these digital assets, there are so many different ways to earn passive income with these bad boys. But they got everybody thinking like, oh, just buy this thing and hold it. Buy and hold. Buy and hold. It's a psyop, bro.
Would you say that the class that you have is something 28? You said it was
Wealth 28 Club.
Wealth 28 Club.
Yeah.
You're teaching that?
We teach all this stuff. Yeah.
You're teaching how to capitalize on crypto that people are holding, and they're just holding it rather than doing something with it. That class that you have.
Yeah. There's hundreds of videos inside of our club, and we break down the basics of DeFi. It's pretty much like DeFi for dummies in the very first 20 videos, right? Then we start breaking down the mentality and the mindset you need to get involved. And then from there, we have so many different platforms we've touched on, different chains, how to connect this wallet, how to enter a liquidity pool, how to exit a liquidity pool, how to borrow against this asset on this chain. And, and it's a tutorial video. So you're like following along, I screen mirrored it, and my boy Cypress, who's the co-founder as well, he did the same thing. He's given his perspective and his side of things. So it's like when you come into the club too, you're getting two different perspectives as well. And we run Zoom calls legitimately 4 to 5 of them every week. And you can tap into these Zoom calls live, or when I'm done, I put that actual, like that copy inside the club. So like, if you're brand new to the club, you can go back and see every single Zoom call I've ever made for the Wealth 28 Club.
Beautiful. If you don't mind me asking, how long is the program? for someone that joins the Wealth 28 Club?
So there's no like time frame on it. You can get through it if you're like on vacation, nothing else to do, in like 2.5 weeks roughly. Now, are you going to retain all that information? Most likely not. Be realistic. You know, it'd probably take you 90 days to just chip at it. You know, considering, let's just say you got everyday life going on, the average Joe, we got this going on, maybe like a family or whatever. I'd say 90 days just chipping away. You'll start gaining a new perspective and start creating strategies. But it's also good to be tapped in to a community, you know, that everyone is tapping in, because there's so many different chains. Not one person can do it all, right? So like what we've built is like a following of people who've had success, and then also now are they're bringing value to the club, because maybe they're on a different platform I haven't even got to yet, and they're sharing their experience with the other members. So being like, because in DeFi there's nobody to call. So like if you make a mistake or something happens, there's not an 800 number like, let me call Chase Bank right now and see what's cracking. Nah, like you got to like do your own homework, do your due diligence, and figure out, oh, okay, so there's like a bug right now and I can't exit this pool, so I'll just wait another 24 hours. But imagine going through something like that by yourself,
Right.
And it's like 10 racks. You're fucking spazzing, you know what I mean?
That was gonna be my next question. What would be a beginner's initial investment? If someone were to get with your group, your community, and I'm a beginner, what would be a good investment to dive into this and start learning and growing?
The beautiful part about decentralized finance is you could start with $10.
Okay.
There's no minimum. So I would say start super, super small, whatever you're willing to play with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, go from, I mean, and dude, like what we're charging too, like when me and Cypress sat down and we were creating this, like we considered charging an arm and a leg at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted this to be accessible to everybody, like even people who are struggling and shit. So we only made it $28 a month. And I can show you 5 platforms right now that are all charging north of $100.
Yeah.
And they don't do anywhere near what we are doing either.
So you're going out of your way with the Zoom calls, the Discord,
100%.
YouTube, X.
Mhm.
You're doing the whole schematics and just laying everything on the field for
Above
$28.
$28 a month, above and beyond for these people. Like for real, like 16 hours, 17-hour days. Everything that I learned because I just loved sitting at my desk and doing this all day, every day, that I just give all the gems that I learned to the members. You know what I mean? So
That's huge, man.
Before we move into another portion of the interview here, I do want to ask one last question in this DeFi space here. What is your gut telling you about 2025 and then 26 and on? But 25, one question, and then 26 and on, another question.
So 2025, I think is going to be an interesting year for us, because I don't know if you guys are into like astrology and numerology. I am hard, right? And I don't know if you guys tap in with GG33.
That's why you said 28. I already know.
Yeah. I rock with
28. Yeah, 28. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So like I rock with him. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I know about GG.
Yeah, GG33 is the man. But so we're going into a snake year. All right. So I'm gonna just give you guys my view of like astrology wise, like why I think it's gonna be a wild year. Because the last snake year we had was 9/11. Right? That's the last time we had a snake year. That's what happened. Right?
Yeah.
And then before that, it was like the Berlin Wall fell. The snake year after that. And snakes.
We're doing 12 cycles of 12, right?
Cycles of 12.
So then
And that might have been double actually.
Yeah,
24, 2 cycles ago, the snake year.
So I'm wondering what happened. Yeah, 2 cycles ago it was 9/11. I wonder what happened just 12 cycles ago. What
maybe like Iraq and been like
I wonder.
Maybe more to that too.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking now.
I haven't even thought of that.
Who's eavesdropping out there? That's what we want to know.
Hey, but yeah, I'm
That's
just
crazy.
thinking like we're going into a snake year, And like, what are we seeing? We're seeing all these UAP.
Yep.
They even changed up the name from UFO
Yeah,
to
UAP.
Wait a minute here. It's not UFO no more.
UAP, my good man.
Yeah, they got a
bro.
psyop
What's the
going
AP?
on.
What's this?
I don't, yeah.
Wrist.
Wow.
So yeah, bro. Like, I think we're gonna have some sort of like world event for sure. I think something is cooking right now. It's kind of leading up to it. Whether it's like some Project Bluebeam and like some wild shit that they put in the sky, like a sky show, and it looks real to everybody. As far as crypto goes, though, bro, like I think there's gonna be some assets that win for sure in 2025, like in a major way. But then I also see it like going past that. Like I feel like there's talks about like a super cycle happening right now, right? And I believe it because, you know, crypto's again only $2.5-3 trillion on any given day only.
That's wild.
So what do you think is going to happen? We have hundreds of trillions of dollars on chain eventually one day. Right.
Somebody wants to get a part of that scoop.
So like, and I feel like it's going to happen in pieces and in chunks. So like, that's why I think it's going to be a super cycle for like the next 10 years. There's going to be growth in the space. And if you know, and you took advantage. Yeah, man. I feel like in 10 years, it's going to be different for sure. The way we live, everything is going to change, bro. Like just like what we talked about earlier with AI, artificial intelligence, you know, and then just like, yeah, bro, like and if we don't do the work now, we're going to suffer in the future.
You get left behind.
I agree.
And you're going to have to submit to whatever you're being asked to do.
Got to move with the times. Got to figure out a way.
You got to figure out a way. And that's why I think crypto is the best way to mitigate against any of that, all that shit.
Yeah.
So as we go to the fourth quarter of this, in this game here that we're playing, we're going to open up the conversation to some of the expertise you have, the crypto, the water, and the government stuff. I have a couple questions for you with the government and climate change, because I'm curious about where your mind's at with that. But I want to circle back to the water thing. Cleaning the water.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Did you say wiping the memory as well?
Yeah, cleaning the memory. Because water has memory.
Right.
Yeah. So like mussels are made 99.9% of water.
Right.
And they say that we have muscle memory. So where do you think that memory resides? It's in the water.
In the water.
Right? So water has memory. When you put it in contact with arsenic fluoride, we can clean that out physically, but it still remembers that it was in contact with that shit. So it's no different. It's still acidic in unalive water. Yeah, it's water.
So are you blessing it with good intention, with love, or is that?
I mean, I wish that would work, but that don't work.
Really? So what does work? What is it?
We need a Kangen machine.
So that changes the memory?
The Kangen machine changes the geometrical structure of the water molecule itself, and it puts it back into its original state and puts all that bad memory back out.
So hold on. Let's talk about the blessing and the good intentions. Let's talk about that Japanese scientist that discovered the water where you speak love to it, you speak anger to it. Anger, you freeze it, it produces that cancerous looking stuff. Love produces beautiful crystals. So there's some power in blessing and having that good intention to it, but that's not what you're talking about.
Well, there is power in that though. Like there is, but like think about the process of somebody, and like you would have to go and get it tested to go and see if it actually worked.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about it though. It's like, oh, I can go and clean this water through my reverse osmosis, and then me and my family, we pray over it for the next 3 days, put it in the cupboard, and then hopefully it's clean. But like, how do we know that?
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't. Like, and as much as I believe that is real, and I know that's real, I just don't think that like when you have tainted water that's been in contact with all these chemical structures, I don't care how powerful my mind is. I don't think my mind and my frequency can get that shit out. Like it needs something like a Kangen machine this thing is made and engineered to do just that.
Now, did you know that right away, or you got your hands on a Kangen machine and you were using it and doing more research, and then
it was Todd. It was Todd.
How did you conclude?
Because I thought, I'll be real, I thought Kangen was a
Mhm.
pig with lipstick. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pig with lipstick. I was like, how could this little machine clean all the bullshit out of the fucking water?
Okay, so changing the memory is cleaning the bullshit out of the water. That's
and,
what you mean.
restructuring it too, because of the way that the device is developed. It restructures the water. It turns the regular source water into hexagonal shapes, which matches and mirrors your the way that you get into your blood cells.
Like, think about it like this. Think about like fluoride, arsenic, and all these potent ass chemicals. Think about what it does. Like, these people that are putting it in the water at the water municipals are wearing hazmat suits and shit. So like it's destructive to the water. It's just unseen to the eye.
Correct.
Right. So like, again, like that Kangen machine plays a major role, but like, that's another thing though too. Like, some people think they just need the Kangen machine, and that's like a whole nother psyop. They think, oh, I just need to take my Kangen and plug it into the tap, and I'm gonna be good. And little do they know, now you're putting all these chemicals in a nice little perfect structure, and you're drinking it.
We got to get pre-filters,
Whoa.
get your water tested. There's
Because that machine is not taking out the fluoride, all the dinosaur names that we can pull up on any given water municipal that they're adding to the water, and arsenic. That there's no way that machine. And then when you do research on the machine itself, it was engineered in Japan, and the only thing that thing is designed to get out, it was specifically made for Japanese water, because in Japan, well, I don't know about now, or at least at the time, the only thing that they would treat the water with is chlorine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that thing is only designed to get chlorine out.
Mm.
The one little filter. That's only designed to get that out. It's not designed to get all the other shit out. So that's a whole nother, like, not being properly educated, just kind of just, taking a little surface knowledge. Oh, this makes sense. And then running with that. But yeah, there's always something deeper to everything, man. Like there really is.
Wow. So then, and you have a water store.
Yeah.
So you can make the claim that, man, you want the best water, you want the purest water, you come get the water from me.
100%. That's what I have on the front of the store, is come get the best best water on the planet. Like, that's what I have on the front of the store.
Yeah, the pre-filter is definitely needs to be involved when you get a Kangen machine. It's always wise to get pre-filters, and also go to ewg.org to find out what's actually in your tap water. So when you go to ewg.org/tap water, that will tell you everything that's in your tap water source, so that you can plan ahead and get the pre-filters that you may need for your source.
Now it makes sense why you say that RFK should also get involved in making sure the water gets.
Yeah, because he wants to make America healthy again.
Correct.
And Trump has him on his side. So like,
They're just not talking water yet.
they're not talking water, but we need to make a loud noise with this, because like, someone else I've found along the way when I was doing my research is Dr. Corrine Allen, and she was based out of here in Anaheim, California. She doesn't practice anymore. I want to say she's probably much, much older, because the videos I've seen of her giving lectures and talking about her basically, you could call it clinical trials that she was doing with the water, and what she discovered and how it was helping children with different brain problems and brain physical damage.
Yes.
And what it did for her own daughter. Yeah, man. That's why it resonated. I told him.
Yeah.
Because so Dr. Corrine Allen had so let me just tell you. So she found out that this structured water can help your brain grow new neural pathways.
Wow.
Right? She found, you guys could, this is all public you can go and watch this yourself. So like, this is not my opinion. I'm just sharing what she shared in this video.
Testimonial.
It's a testimonial. She had children that had autism for 12 years, right? Come to her facility for 2 weeks, drink the water, go through like the different exercises that she was doing. And after 12 years, for the first time, these kids were able to say, I love you, to their parents. And these parents never heard this before.
Wow.
Not only did she help brain damage on that side of the fence, but then people that were in car accidents as well. All right, drink this structured water. Let's see. Total rehabilitation. As a matter of fact, let me blow your mind on why she resonated with me and I'll never forget her, is because her daughter had the same brain injury my daughter had at birth. The difference is my daughter didn't make it. And here, right here at Chalk fucking hospital, Dr. fucking Chung, I want to say, he told me, well, you know, Prince, the human body can only heal itself from the neck down and not the neck up.
He said
That's
that.
not true.
And this dude is
that
an
what he
MD.
said? Why would they?
MD, right?
It's not true.
I looked him bold in his face and I said, bro, I said, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, I'm going to prove to you that what you just said is false, right? I had it out. I was always arguing with these people. And as a matter of fact, bro, I was doing crazy shit behind their back to try to save my daughter's life because their fucking standard procedure of what is called an ischemic brain injury is just cool the baby and then keep them on IV, and then hopefully when the cooling comes down, the brain damage it could bring the swelling down. And these people, man, like it's just dummies, man, just pulling up to work, doing what they're what they're told to do. None of them doing clinical trials. I think I had like 5 doctors in one of the meetings that we had because these meetings were whack, bro. Like they're just talking about pulling the plug. And I'm just like, bro, like, nah, like we're fighting for my daughter. So we fought for 25 days. And, I told these people, like, I was like, bro, if I could go back in time, I would have been a doctor and I would have been running circles around you guys. I would have been the Michael Jordan of doctors because I would have been doing clinical trials. I was like, what are you guys going to do when we leave here? We're just a number to you guys. I was like, the next parent's going to come in. Their baby's going to have the same brain injury and you're going to tell them the same fucking shit. You guys ain't doing nothing new.
Wow.
Right. And yeah, but universe has its divine time. So my daughter, parted ways. 6 months later, that's when I come across the Kangen, the information. And then he pulled up, gave me information, and I just ran with that shit and started studying every single day because I want to say within the first 24 hours, I came across Dr. Corrine Allen and that story. And it gave me the chills because I was like, yo, like your daughter is here. She went to college. She has a family. They told me if my daughter made it, she'd just be a vegetable. Right?
Is it true let me tap in. So with this structured water, you say?
Yeah.
And Todd, this is for you too. Is it true that when it goes to the filter system, the water gets produced and there's less molecules?
It's called ionization.
Ionization.
So through the titanium platinum coated plates there's 8 plates that are within a particular machine that restructure the water. So when the water runs through this actual device, it goes through these plates, and the plates actually minimize the molecules of the size of the water.
So you have like 3 to 4 molecules, as opposed to fossil water, you got like 6 to 10 molecules.
Yes,
right?
exactly. So the water that comes from plastic bottle, not that plastic bottle, but other plastic bottle waters are larger molecules.
So you're now absorbing the water instead of it going through your body.
Correct.
Okay.
And you can touch on that way better than me, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I mean,
With
I think you hit it spot on. I mean, ionization is what you want. You know what I mean? You like going to the beach, there's natural ions in the atmosphere from the ocean, and you want negative ions. Like that's what blueberries have. That's what some strawberries, most berries, right? But like, and that's what they call antioxidants as well, right? But on like this water is like 800 times more potent when it comes to antioxidants than berries themselves, right?
Yeah.
And that to me told me that like, the universe, God, if you will, water in its original state keeps humanity healthy 100%. Like if we're drinking the proper water and it's not tainted, the water will heal us. And there would be no such thing as sickness.
Alive water you're talking about, right? Not
Yeah,
dead. Because, I mean, I think people need to know that there's a difference between alive water and dead water.
And there's no telling the difference by the bare naked eye. You can't tell by just looking at it.
Really?
Not with the naked eye. You would need like a microscope to zoom in and look at the structure of it.
Or you can look at what they have a meter is called a oxidation reduction potential meter,
Mhm.
ORP meter that you can actually put into the water to see if it's going to give it a negative charge or a positive charge. Anything that's in the positive charge will be acidic. It's going to
Mhm.
be things that are cancer causing disease.
In the red or the orange, or so to
The
speak.
reds and the oranges on the pH scale, but you have the negatively charged water up to 800 with our Kangen machines.
Yeah.
You can have instant healing power with the machine itself. Wow.
Yeah, dude. That machine is yeah.
All right. We're down to the 2-minute drill now in this fourth quarter. But hey, you've shared some great stories. Do you have any wild or unusual one you'd like to share?
I'll share this. This is just like based on everything I told you guys right now about water. I strongly feel the real history of the planet and the globe is in the ocean water. And then when we can learn how to read the hydroglyphs and like read the water, like I feel like the mammals in that water really know the true history, like the dolphins and
That's deep.
the whale and the mammals and stuff.
Mm.
And that's pretty much like that was like one of my very first like videos I did like 10 million plus views was I was breaking down on like dolphins and how it's a felony to even try to communicate with them. And it's like,
Yeah, it's
why?
crazy.
Why?
It's crazy.
It's a felony to try to
yeah,
communicate.
you
felony.
you go to jail.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
And dolphins have something to do. Like if a pregnant woman gets in the water, somehow there's like a healing mechanism with the dolphin and the.
Bro, I read this book called The Flower of Life, and his name is Truvalo. I forget his last name. It's like a weird one, but he talks about the dolphins assisting births. In some of the births, the children had Down syndrome. That's what they tested before birth, and the
Creepy.
vortex and the energy of the dolphins
Dolphin?
was
Beautiful.
able
Heal?
to heal
Wow.
that frequency, and the baby came out
Wow.
normal.
Normal?
Yeah.
That's huge, bro.
So
100.
was it the vibration of the dolphin, or what was it? The sounds, or what would
It's
it
like
be?
it like the vortex.
Vortex.
The
And
vortex.
that was a great word. Great descriptive word right
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
And the echo, like the echo, the way they speak telepathically.
Yeah.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like a crazy story I could tell you guys that actually happened to me earlier this year is, dude, I had a dream that dolphins came to me and they were speaking to me telepathically and they told me to get out of California and go meet them in Arizona. And then they brought me to Arizona, like in the middle of the desert and shit.
That's
Right. Right.
And then I woke up.
where there's no ocean.
Yeah.
Deep. That's deep, bro.
And then a few months later, that dude, I don't know if you guys seen him on TikTok, he went viral. Oh, my bad. He went viral on TikTok. He came from Atlanta. Oh, too close. He came to California from Atlanta, and he was like, yeah, like God came to me in a dream and told me to come and tell everybody to get the hell out of California.
Wow.
I feel like we're a big hamster wheel. I feel like we're all just being tested on daily with different things and bio and technology. That's how I feel. So
Bro, me too,
if
bro.
you're getting those dreams, like there has to be a reason behind it.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there has to be.
I was going to ask you this question because, liquidity, flow, all of these words that we use, bank, they come from water. Could you explain how these terminologies?
Yeah, because money is water. It's currency. It's a current. You know what I mean? And like the bank is like a river bank, an entrapment for your water. You know what I mean? Loan shark.
Loan shark.
Ooh, they call people in crypto or just in general who got a lot of money whales.
Yeah, you sound like Jordan Maxwell right now.
You know what I mean? yeah. Jordan Maxwell, that dude's I studied a lot of his stuff too. He's amazing, man. But yeah, dude, like money should be flowing. Money should never be stagnant. And that's why, like, if you always got your money working for you, then you're doing what it's meant to do. Like, your money's never supposed to just be locked up in a bank, bro. Like, that's
It's not.
exactly what it's doing. It's locked up in a riverbank. And where that river is being fed, the big ocean, is all that institutional money, and they're using your money over here to make bread. And then you say, hey, I want my 10 racks right now. I have a seat and I need 2 forms of ID.
Like, wait. Come back next week. We'll have all your money for you.
So I need to know why you need this money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is my money, bro.
Yeah. We have your money in a Voya account right now.
Yeah.
Sitting pretty, growing, flowing.
Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? So when you understand that and like you're just aligned, you know what I mean? And being aligned is what you want to do right now. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to be unaligned. Like,
Yeah,
like,
that's a great point.
dude, we got to sacrifice too right now. You know what I mean? Like, we got to sacrifice. Like, don't put on Netflix. Don't put on the game. You know what I mean? It like, and like us remembering all these stats tells us like our ability of remembering stuff, right? Like, why are we remembering stats of these guys that
He
are
had 18 catches. He had 18 catches for 47 yards.
Yeah.
And he does it three times a week.
Yeah. Like I'm not like I love sports and I grew up. You did too. Like you played on a big level, bro. But like that's not where we make our money right now. Like, yeah, that's cool to tap into that, and you know, but like right now is such an imperative time to understand what's unfolding and to protect your future, your family's future. You know, a lot of people who live good lives right now, like middle class, bro, like they're in for a rude awakening, man.
People's jobs are at stake.
It really is. It really is. Unfortunately, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's just
It's
what's
the
coming.
truth.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And you know what? That puts us now to the goal line right there, and the clock has ticked away. We got 1 second left. You got wisdom, some advice, some life perspective. You've been sharing it already, but do you got something that you're like, you know what? I gotta say this, and we'll close the show with it.
Yeah, you know, I would say this from what I've learned in my life is never write something off with the assumption surface level awareness that you have of something. Because had I not wrote off Kangen water, you know, whenever I was a pro, I couldn't even tell you before you, it wasn't like a bad experience was with you or anything, but like before all that, I would have had the knowledge and I would have had another potential route to help my daughter. Right? Someone who just adopts that Bitcoin is going to be old tech, and someone who says like, oh, it's the Napster of technology, and they say it really good and they look smart, or maybe they are smart in other areas of their life. It's real easy to just adopt that opinion and run with it. It's like, well, this super smart guy's saying it, right?
Yeah.
So like, always look at things for yourself so that you have your own real true conviction. Because when you're on other people's conviction, you could be easily manipulated. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And miss out on certain things that could be worth a life. You know what I mean? That's how deep it is.
Beautiful.
That is deep.
Well, Mr. Duncan, Aquaman.
Yes.
Hey, I want to thank you very much for your time and everything that you shared, my brother. You know,
I appreciate you guys
yeah,
too. It's a
appreciate
good
you,
time, man. Good combo.
And let them know on all your social media platforms where they can reach you and contact you if they want to get involved.
I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, MrAquaman33. There are a lot of fake accounts of me. And there's gonna be a lot of fake accounts of other people you guys tap in with. So just know that myself and nobody else is ever going to DM you and ask you for things and stuff like that. So don't fall for those accounts, and be sure to look out for like on X, my official account that has the blue check mark. I wish TikTok did things like that, but they don't. I mean, there's probably like over 20 accounts that are pretending to be me on TikTok. It's pretty wild. Some of them even have more followers than me. It's crazy.
What?
But yeah, so and on X too, there's a handful, but on X, I'm the blue check mark. And if you go on X and find me there, you'll get to my link tree and you can find all my socials and the real ones from there. So
beautiful.
Appreciate it.
All right.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. I appreciate you guys too.
Man. Thanks for coming and blessings.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.